Hi everybody, and welcome to TDBC's devotionals that Ian and I are doing together. Ian's singing. Your ears will be thankful that it's Ian and not me. And I'm just doing a few devotional readings. These are going up on our YouTube page and hopefully eventually up on our Facebook page once we work all that out. Just encourage you to be caring for each other and sharing in God's love and in respect to how we can support and encourage each other as we go through this latest version of lockdowns. I want to read to you this time from Psalm 18. Psalm 18. And this is for the director of music of David, a servant of the Lord, as he sang to the Lord. I won't sing the psalm to you, I'll just read it, okay? Hopefully you cope with me just reading it. I love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I called to the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and I have been saved from my enemies. The cords of death entangled me. The torrents of destruction overwhelmed me. The cords of the grave coiled around me. The snares of death confronted me. And in my distress I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. The earth trembled and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains shook. They trembled because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils, consuming fire came from his mouth. Burning coals blazed out of it. He parted the heavens and came down. Dark clouds were under his feet. He mounted the cherubim and flew. He soared on the wings of the wind. He made darkness his covering, his canopy around him, the dark rain clouds of the sky. Out of the brightness of his presence, clouds advanced with hailstones and bolts of lightning. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded. He shot his arrows and he scattered the enemy. With great bolts of lightning, he routed them. The valleys of the sea were exposed and the foundations of the earth laid bare. At your rebuke, Lord, at the blast of breath from your nostrils, he reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. I'll leave the reading there, and I encourage you to continue to read Psalm 18 and get the full story there. But you get the picture of what David is talking about. In the darkness now we can get the visual, the battles that he faced, the wars in which he fought for his nation and for his king at the time, and all of these different things that took place during David's life. But there are times in our lives when we feel as though we have an unseen enemy, something that presses down upon us, somehow trying to squash the joy and the presence of God in our lives, to push it aside and to move it out, to give us concern and to distract us and to create anxiety in our lives. But as David calls upon the Lord and he reminds himself that God is his strength, God is his rock and his fortress. He is David's deliverer. God is our deliverer as well. And we recognize the presence of God in our lives as we live lives that are founded firmly on this strong foundation of God's truth in our life. This psalm, especially the first few verses of this psalm, reminded me of the passage in Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 to 27 in particular. And it's the story of the wise and the foolish builders. It reads like this: Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, His streams rose and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall because it had its foundations on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. Friends, as you read the Word of God, as you study the Word of God and are enriched, encouraged by it, are you putting in practice? Are you praying for others? Are you caring for and loving your neighbour, caring for and loving your neighbour? Are you practicing the love of God in the world today? Jesus talks in the Gospels about not just, particularly in the Sermon on the Mount, not just loving your neighbour, but loving your enemies and praying for those who persecute you. Friends, get out your prayer lists and add to it and put those things on there that need to be added, that we might pray together for all of these things that are trying to knock us down. But in everything, remember, love the Lord, for He is our strength and He is our rock. He's the fortress and the deliverer that we need. Stand firm in your faith, practice out your hope, and live out the love of God in your life. Have a great day. My prayers are with you. And again, if you need to talk with somebody, don't hesitate to contact the church or to contact me. The emails and phone numbers are on our website. Just look up Traralgon District Baptist Church. Ian and I are here and others are available to share and talk with you. Blessings for now. Bye.